Okay. Hi, Annie. Thanks for meeting with me again.
Hello.
All right. So, we're going to go over your lesson that you did with your students. So, go ahead and tell me, what lesson did you work on and what goals were you targeting?
So this lesson was about the life cycle of a frog. I usually try and find something fun that they're interested in, and so they'll be engaged. And since spring is upon us, I figured, oh, okay, let's start doing some life cycles. So mainly, the main thing we were trying to target with doing this is their sequencing of events. So if they could tell me what the life cycle was, um, then that'll help with their sequencing in other things too, such as if we're reading a story, now they know
Mhm.
from beginning, middle, and end. And so the first thing I did was show them a video about the life cycle of frogs. And then throughout the video, I was asking questions, pausing the video, seeing kind of if they were paying attention. And then after that short little video clip, then they watched an informational text about frogs.
Okay.
And afterwards, I asked them, what kind of stood out to you? What were like some key points that you guys remember? So, all of those things also help with other ELA aspects, right?
Right.
Like getting key terms from an informational text, remembering things that they had read before. And so, after that, we were writing stuff down, and that was on Monday. And then Tuesday was what we were going to do. They were going to help me write down on a big poster board what is the actual life cycle of a frog.
Okay.
So we kind of went over it prior, and then it's like, okay, remember back to the video, remember back to that book, and then they were going to help me with that.
Awesome. No, I like how you brought that prior knowledge in and then worked it
Mm-hmm.
into that lesson for the next day. So, kind of
Mm-hmm.
getting them to remember what they worked on. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And how do you think the lesson went?
I think they enjoyed the lesson. I think
Good.
many of the students were engaged on it. It was something that they thought was fun and interesting. After we did that part, then we kind of watched that Coyote Peterson, and usually he's that person that will go out and find the frogs, and they were really interested in that. Like they thought that was really fun. He was trying to find those like poisonous frogs, so
Mm-hmm.
they were all fearful that he was going to get hurt.
Right.
But no, that was really good because I was kind of, giving them all this information to build up to the fact that we're going to
Hmm.
do a writing on this, right?
Right.
Like it's fun. We're going to do a fun frog craft afterwards. But I did want them to do kind of that step up to writing type thing, using that
Hmm.
prior knowledge, usually using the visuals from that poster board, and
Right.
then taking that in to kind of help them with, okay, first, we're going to be talking about a frog, right?
Hmm.
First, they start out as eggs, and then as they metamorphosize or change into something else, a tadpole, and then another one, and then to the adult frog. So then they
Right.
can visually see it, and then they were going to write about it too.
Awesome. Yeah. So obviously targeting those writing skills, writing
Yes.
goals too, if they had some. And I really like that flip chart that you did, or the Google
Mhm.
Doc.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. So I saw them being more engaged with that one, listening to
Mhm.
that video. That was pretty cool. So I
Everything
like
I
that.
do in the classroom, I always put it on that Google document, and
Hmm.
usually that's up and open all day long. And
Right.
as the day goes or as the week goes on for the new week, I usually take certain slides out and put certain ones in. So
Hmm.
it's all up there and ready so they could all kind of see it. And it's
Right.
just an easy flow throughout the day.
Oh yeah, definitely. Awesome. All right. And then how did you modify this lesson for some of the students that needed that modification?
So we do have a wide span of grade levels and
Hmm.
ability levels within the classroom. I don't think I had any kinders at the time, but like first graders, second graders, all the way up to fifth graders. So my older friends already know that when they're doing a writing assignment, that we're going to try and do like 3, 4, or 5 sentences long, right? So a
Hmm.
lot of things that they have to write for their sentence, I want them to use more detailed vocabulary the
Right.
best that they can. I mean, usually we have a word bank up. I usually have like their vocabulary words with pictures and stuff on it so that they can use the bigger vocabulary with that. And then with the younger students, they're more simpler
Hmm.
sentences for them, just to kind of get them into that mode of, okay, we're going to write, but they have their visuals. They usually have a word bank up there so then they can pick and choose from that. I
Right.
also will usually write things on the hover cam so that it's projected onto that smart board so they can see what I'm writing, so they can choose to either copy what I'm writing. And I
Hmm.
usually do it more towards geared towards the younger grades. And
Right.
then our older students know, okay, well, I could kind of take that, but they have to add on to it.
Right. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like how you did that because I know you have that wide variety. But, just modifying for the little ones and then having the bigger ones writing their more complex sentences, the longer sentences. And so,
Right.
really good differentiating the different levels of the students. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And to our friend, I noticed a friend that didn't want to participate in the group time. So, can you
Yes.
tell me about the strategies that you used for him?
So we help guide him back into a more calming area. So
Mm-hmm.
it's his area where he has all of the tools that he needs, either his PEC cards to
Mm-hmm.
kind of show like quiet mouth and calm hands and body. And then he also at his desk has near him, it looks like candles that are being blown out, and
Mm-hmm.
it has five of them. And usually once, when he's in that elevated state, I kind of just want to be quieter and calmer so he can see that energy, and then show him that pet card, not really do a lot of verbals, but just kind of showing him. And
Right.
then once I could see that his body was calming down a little bit, then I could kind of
Mm-hmm.
prompt him to go, okay, so hey, so can we do something simple and take our deep breaths? And then he
Right.
can use that visual card, and he can, when he does take a deep breath, then he can pull it off and then move it up, because
Mm-hmm.
that's one breath. And then it's like, okay, he wanted to keep moving it, so I just put my hands there. Oh, take a deep breath for me. And then we did it together, and it's like,
Right.
okay, I removed my hand and he could take that off and then put it up, and it's five deep breaths, and then
Mm-hmm.
afterwards he was a little bit calmer.
Right.
So then after that, once he's kind of calm and back to his baseline, then I could ask him to do simple tasks that he could be super successful at, and then I
Mm-hmm.
could verbally praise him, not at a super like elevated voice, but yeah, you did a really good job. Thank you for doing that. And then he'll move on from there.
Right. No, I loved how you used that visual
Yeah.
because I saw a change in him. But then I
Mm-hmm.
also like how you waited until you knew how
Yeah.
when he was calm enough to start using that visual. You didn't just do it right away because you knew it wasn't going to be successful.
Right.
So no, I liked how you used that visual. And then he seemed to calm down, really well
Mm-hmm.
after that and was able to
Yeah.
focus a lot more on his work. So
Yes. Which is
um,
good. We want him to do that.
yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me. I'm going to
Thank you.
stop.